It's time. What time? Oh, it's now. Yes, now. Always now. There's never any time but now. With that being said, what's interesting is time is an illusion, but still, using what I'm saying here with you right here, right now, will help you to make big changes in your life. So, why is that important? Well, because right now, which is all you've got, is what determines the vibratory state that you're going to go into. I mean, think about how I start these calls. Good morning, great morning, wonderful morning, spectacular morning, outstanding morning, magnificent morning, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious morning. See, those are all intentional statements to remind you about this very moment, to remind you that you get to choose when, now, right now, always now. What's really cool about this? I mean, this is so incredible when you get this, when you start thinking this way, because a lot of us, for instance, if something happens, yes, we end up reacting and get into a negative vibe because of something that's happened. Maybe it's something that we've done, and then we'll say, okay, I'll start tomorrow. I'll start next year. A lot of people do that with New Year's resolutions, not understanding that they can start again right now. Think about that. You don't have to wait till later. You can start right now. And oh my gosh, this is so amazing when you look at this. There are so many times that you could reset. This reminds me of a story within the Bible. And remember, this is not to get churchy with you. This is to share with you a principle. And, one of the apostles went to Jesus and asked, well, how many times shall I forgive? 7 times? Oh, no, 70 times seven is what was replied with. 70 times seven. Think about that. And that's what's required to reset. See, when you reset, you forgive, you forget, you let go, you start again. With that being said, it's important that you start again in the moment. Don't wait till later. You don't have to wait till later. But isn't it interesting that that's what we do at times? Because that's how we're conditioned, because the paradigm gets there and it's locked in, being reinforced by the subconscious mind. So you don't have to wait. And this is important, especially when it comes to you achieving your goal. I mean, hold your goal. Get your goal card in front of you. Hold it and look at that. Yeah, you're going to fall, right? You have fallen. You have gotten distracted. You've run into situations that weren't quite what you planned. Maybe it did discourage you. What's amazing is you can reset instantly, right in that moment. Forgive, forget, if you practice it, which will then help you to move forward in a big, beautiful way. You know that's what highly successful people do? They reset really quick and they stay focused on how they would love things to be. They're loyal to that unseen reality, even though shit happens. I learned that from Rami Alpatrawi. Had many beautiful conversations with him. And one of the things that he shared with me is the importance of pivoting, not later, right now. When something happens, pivot, 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 pivot. It's written in his book. And that's something that you've got to lock into if you want to achieve at the level that you would love to achieve. And I know that you definitely would love to achieve at an extremely high level. Then again, extremely is just something that's, subjective. Nothing is good or bad. It's our thinking that makes it so. With that being said, you would definitely love to achieve much more than you have, right? Nod your heads. Yes. Well, then it requires you to start thinking in a certain way. Oh my gosh, I just pulled in another book, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles, of which you hear me refer to many, many times. You get to think in a certain way. In order for you to do things in a certain way, yes, you must do things in a certain way, but in order for you to do, you must first be. See, it's all tied into what's happening in this magnificent inner world of yours. And when you have that ability to reset immediately, always to lock into how you would love things to be, to crowd out all of the things that are not in harmony with the good that you desire, you know what happens? Oh my gosh, achievement. And it happens rapidly. And that's so cool because this is what we've been diving into in the Master Key System. And hasn't this been a wonderful journey so far? And feeling different about yourself, haven't you? Because you've been using it. If you haven't been feeling different, it's not because the information in here is not correct, it's just because application hasn't happened. With that being said, if that's the case for you, you can start right now. And also tap into getting this beautiful book, The Subconscious Code, as a beautiful companion to what we've been dealing with to help you to understand Crazy Awesome Stick Person. I mean, it's again really important that you practice, and it's been emphasized a lot in this book. So, with that being said, let's go into this. Okay, let's dive into where we are, and there we are, right? We talked about this yesterday, and then we're going to talk about it again today. And this is on page 125 in our version of books. Okay, so that a man can change himself, that you can change yourself. So change himself, improve himself, recreate himself, control his environment. Remember, these are all things that you can do. Why? Because you can think whatever you want to think and master his own destiny. That's something that you can do. This reminds me of Tony Robbins, one of my favorite lines that he shares frequently. It's in your moments of decision that your destiny is created. When are decisions made? They're made in the present. They're not made in the past. You have made decisions, but see, the decisions are made in the moment. They're made now. So in your moments of decision, your destiny is created. So that a man can change himself, improve himself, recreate himself, control his environment, and master his destiny is the conclusion of every mind that is wide awake to the power of right thought in constructive action. And what's amazing is I sense that in you. That's pretty freaking great. Now let's move forward. Part 6. What are some of the effects which can be produced by electricity? Remember, there was an analogy that was pulled in here when talking about electricity. Well, the answer is heat, light, power, music. Remember, effects that cause electricity, the current. Remember, the current, that electrical current can only be used based from the mechanism through which is taking it in. So heat, light, power, music. Upon what do these various effects depend? Upon the mechanism, just what I shared with you, to which the electricity is attached. Now, those of you who are just coming in here for the first time seeing this, stay with us here because this right here is going to be a beautiful thing for you if you use it. So from here he goes to the next part. What is the result of the action and interaction of the individual mind upon the universal? Remember, there's a comparison of electricity, which is an energy source, which powers the device you're watching this on, starts your car, your television. Well, here now we're talking about the mind and the universal, which is the comparison of electricity in terms of the world of creation. The conditions and experience with which we meet are the result. In other words, the outcomes, how much you earn, what you do for work, your lifestyle. See, you want this to be that effect, right? So this is what he's pointing out. Remember, the world of the physical is the world of effects. Cause, effect. sowing, reaping. And this is what he's pointing out. Now, with that, how many of or how may these conditions be changed? By changing the mechanism by which the universal is differentiated in form. By changing what's happening in your brain because of the way you're using your mind, which is the answer that's in the next section. So, what is the mechanism? The brain. Now, remember, your brain is not your mind. It's an instrument of your mind. It is so important for you to get this. A lot of people will say, "Oh, because it's in my brain, I got to change my brain." No, it's a that your brain is a physical part of your body. Use your eyes as an example. Do you see with your eyes? The answer is no, you see through them. Now, that's a physical thing, these two things. It's a physical thing. It's the same way that your brain is a physical thing. The same way that your ears are a physical thing. Well, that felt kind of cool. Your nose, your mouth, your skin. Your body is an instrument of the mind. Your mind connects through the frequency that travels through the ether into your body the same way that this phone operates from a frequency. Your phone number is a frequency. It's actually a number that's been given to you. That's actually not the frequency. That's an identifier the same way that your name is. Now, how may it be changed? By the process we call thinking. Thoughts produce brain cells, and these cells respond to the corresponding thought in the universal. Now, this leads me into this incredible, beautiful, transformational system that Bob Proctor created called thinking into results. It's an incredible process that helps you to implement this by breaking it down into very simple things, of which some of those things are understanding the importance of setting a worthy goal. Another important thing that you've got to understand is you've got to do more of what you know. You got to tap into the infinite. You've got to organize your mind, and the way to do that is to get an image of the mind, and then your higher mental faculties, imagination, perception, reason, will, memory, intuition, how to properly use them, your self-image, attitude, praxis, aligning your beliefs with your behavior. Oh my gosh, if you are seeking a way to implement this at a much higher level, then by all means, you should definitely reach out because it's a game changer. And for sure, don't let what's happening in your life stop you from tapping into that. See, when you allow that to happen, you know what's happening? The paradigm is in control. Actually, their subconscious mind is in control and reinforcing the paradigm. With that being said, when that happens, you know what doesn't change? The outcomes and results, which is unfortunately a cycle that the overwhelming majority of people have unfortunately been locked into.